Imagine you could make people do what you want. Your boss says yes. Rooms go quiet when you talk. Nobody plays games on you because you see every game coming, 3 moves early. One book promises exactly that skill, and it is considered so dangerous that in a prison in Utah, with 5 libraries, exactly 2 books are banned. Not the violent ones, not the true crime shelf. Both banned books are by the same author, a quiet, polite man named Robert Greene. And it's not just Utah. Across the United States, his book is the second most banned book in the entire prison system. 18 states block it. Here's the strange part. Inside those same prisons, it is one of the most requested books there is. The people with the least power in America are lining up to read it. The people who run the buildings won't let them. That fact alone tells you what's inside. The 48 Laws of Power, published in 1998. Over 1.3 million copies sold in America alone. 50 Cent liked it so much, he co-wrote a book with Greene. And the man who wrote it had no power at all. By his own count, Robert Greene worked around 80 jobs before this one, watching from the bottom how bosses and executives actually operate. In 1995, at a media school in Italy, he pitched the idea he'd carried through all 80 jobs. The rules of power, written down honestly, for the people they get used against. Greene didn't invent these laws. He collected them from 3,000 years of history's winners and history's corpses. Whether you use them is your choice, but they are already being used on you. That part is not optional. So today, all 48, 6 in depth, the ones that run your office. The rest, grouped, named, and on screen so you can pause and screenshot. And at the end, the criticism the fans skip and the twist the haters miss. Law 1. Never outshine the master. August 17th, 1661. Nicolas Fouquet, finance minister of France, throws a party for his king Louis XIV at Vaux-le-Vicomte, the most spectacular chateau in the country. Fireworks. A play commissioned just for the evening, dinner on gold plates. Guests called it the finest party in the history of France, which was exactly the problem. The king spent the whole evening being outshone at his own minister's house by his own minister's money. Within weeks, Fouquet was arrested on charges Louis manufactured. He spent the rest of his life in a cell. Then Louis hired Fouquet's architect, Fouquet's painter, and Fouquet's landscape designer and told them, "Build me something better." They built Versailles. Remember that move. We'll come back to it. Now compare Galileo. Same century. When he discovered the moons of Jupiter, he didn't announce his own genius. He named them the Medicean stars, after the Medici family he wanted as patrons, and framed the discovery as their glory. The Medici made him their court philosopher for life. Fouquet displayed brilliance and died in a cell. Galileo gift-wrapped his brilliance and got funded forever. Same talent, opposite framing. That's the mechanism. Superiors don't punish incompetence half as fast as they punish humiliation. Want the raise? Make your boss look good in the meeting. Collect afterward in private. Law 2. Never put too much trust in friends. Learn to use enemies. The most uncomfortable law in the book, and Greene opens it with a murder. 9th century Byzantium. Emperor Michael III has a best friend, a stable hand named Basilius, a nobody he liked, trusted, and raised step by step to the second most powerful position in the empire. Money, titles, and education, all of it, gifts of friendship. And with every gift, something curdled. Gratitude decayed. Entitlement grew. Basilius stopped seeing favors and started seeing the one thing still missing, the throne. In 867, he had Michael murdered in his own chambers and took the crown, killed by his best friend and financed by his own generosity. That's the mechanism. A friend you elevate expects favors, resents orders, and knows exactly where you're soft. And because they're a friend, you never watch them. A former enemy you promote is the opposite deal. Everything to prove, no illusions, and completely aware of how replaceable they are. Greene's claim, loyalty built on proving yourself, outlasts loyalty built on history. The livable version isn't paranoia, it's keeping the ledgers separate, Keep friends for friendship and work with whoever is competent. The disasters happen when one person is asked to be both. Law 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor. The more you are seen and heard from, the more common you appear. Withdraw at the right moment and you become scarce. Scarce things get valued. It's supply and demand applied to a human being. You've watched this work in both directions. The artist who vanishes for 3 years returns to headlines. The one who posts 4 times a day becomes furniture. The colleague who speaks once per meeting outweighs the one who narrates it. The catch: absence only works after presence. Disappear before anyone knows you, and you've simply disappeared. First become someone they'd miss, then occasionally be missing. Law 25. Recreate yourself. Never accept the role society hands you. Greene's phrase is almost theatrical. Treat your character like clay and sculpt the person who commands the room. Most people let their identity be written by their job title, their family, their worst year. The powerful write their own part, then act it until it's true. And here Greene is his own best evidence. Remember the 80 jobs. A nobody, pushing 40, resume full of dead ends, sits down in Italy and rewrites himself into the most quoted strategist alive. The book about power was written by a man who had none. That is Law 25 notarized. The version of you that everyone at work knows, that's a draft. Drafts get rewritten. Law 33. Discover each man's thumbscrew. Everyone has one. An insecurity, an uncontrollable emotion, a secret need. Find it, says Greene, and you hold the handle that turns the person. The screws come in families. Vanity, they turn when praised. Fear, they turn when the exit looks like it's closing. Greed, the phrase, everyone else is already in, moves them, and the need to belong, the one every scam, every cult, and every limited edition drop is built on. Con artists don't find new weaknesses, they find which of the 4 you carry openly. So flip the law, find your own thumbscrew fast, because the negotiator, the marketer, and that one colleague already went looking for it. What's the compliment that works on you every single time? That's the screw. And Law 48, the last one. Assume formlessness. Anything with a fixed shape can be gripped, and anything that can be gripped can be broken. Champions get studied. The move that made you successful becomes the pattern your rival trains against. Greene's image is water. It beats the rock not by being harder, but by refusing to hold a shape the rock can strike. Careers work the same way. The skill set that can't reform is one industry chef's away from being a museum piece. Greene ends the book here on purpose. After 47 laws, the final law says don't even be loyal to the laws. The plan you refuse to update is not a strategy, it's a target. Those are the 6 that run your week. Now the other 42 in 6 groups. Every law is on screen. Pause wherever you want. Group 1. Guard your image. Say less than necessary. Guard your reputation with your life. Never appear too perfect. And Law 6. Court attention at all costs. Better slandered than invisible. Every personal brand on the internet is this law wearing a lanyard. Group 2. Control the board. Make others come to you. Keep people dependent. Control the options. And Law 3. Conceal your intentions. Tell everyone about the vacation you're planning. Tell no one about the job interview. Group 3. Friends, enemies, and credit. Get others to do the work but take the credit. Appeal to self-interest, never to mercy. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky. Yes, this is the group that gets the book banned. Group 4. Desire is a weapon. Play to fantasies. Create spectacles. Despise the free lunch. Scarcity, dreams, and theater. The entire luxury industry in 4 laws. Group 5. Move like a general. Win through actions, never argument. Concentrate your forces. Plan all the way to the end. And Law 15. Crush your enemy totally. Whatever you have crushed comes back with experience. So close things completely or don't open them. Group 6. Don't self-destruct. Think as you like, but behave like others. Don't step into a great man's shoes. And when you win, stop. Law 47. Do not go past the mark you aimed for. History's graveyards are full of people who couldn't stop. Now, before the twist, the criticism, because the fans always skip this part. The laws contradict each other. Court attention at all costs. but never outshine anybody. Act with boldness, but plan every step to the end. Which is it? When the book came out, Newsweek's reviewer listed the contradictions and delivered one of the great backhanded compliments in publishing. Greene, he wrote, intending the opposite, has produced one of the best arguments since the New Testament for humility and obscurity. Greene's answer is fair. They're not commandments, they're tools. A hammer and a screwdriver also contradict each other until you look at what's in front of you. The real skill the book teaches is reading the room, then picking the tool. The people who treat all 48 as a to-do list don't become Machiavelli. They become exhausting. You've met one. And now the twist, the thing both fans and haters get wrong. This book never tells you to do any of this. Read it closely. It's not a manual, it's a diagnosis. Greene documented how humans with power have behaved for 3,000 years, the way a biologist documents how sharks behave. You can be furious at the documentary. The sharks won't care, and that's why the prison paradox makes perfect sense. The inmates requesting this book and the wardens banning it agree on one thing. It works. The only disagreement is who's allowed to see the game. So the real reason to read the banned book is not to run these laws on people. It's to notice in real time when they're being run on you. The manager keeping you dependent. Law 11, by making sure only they see the full picture. The pricing page controlling your options. Law 31, 3 tiers, where the middle one was designed to be picked. The brand selling absence. Law 16, drop culture, weightless, sold out on purpose. None of it stops working when you see it, but it stops working on you. Naivety is not a virtue, it's just being unarmored. So here's the homework. This week, catch 3 laws in the wild. The meeting someone won through actions instead of argument. The ad selling you scarcity. The compliment aimed precisely at your thumbscrew. Write them down with names. Nothing changes how you see your office faster. And that move from the beginning. Louis jailed Fouquet, then used Fouquet's own architects, his own painter, his own gardener to build Versailles. The king punished the man and kept the work. Law 7, get others to do the work, always take the credit. The laws don't care if you're a king, that's why they're laws. Congratulations, you've now read America's second most banned author. Use it for defense, and never, ever throw a better party than your boss. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this one, give it a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.